Hey everybody, thanks for being on here with us today. We're so excited to have some fun. I am Maddie Glab, one of our team reporters here with the Buffalo Bills. I'm joined by Buffalo Bills safety Jordan Poyer and Buffalo Bills offensive lineman Dion Dawkins and David Femi, who works for M&T Bank. Before we get started, I want to give you a quick intro of why we are here today. So M&T Bank and the Buffalo Bills teamed up for M&T Bank's Flag Football program, which gives students within the Buffalo Promise neighborhood a cool opportunity to learn about the fundamentals of football and the importance of a healthy lifestyle. Highgate Heights Elementary School and Westminster Community Charter School students in 3rd through 6th grade were invited to participate. That's all you wonderful people on this call today. I know you all were practicing for games that were going to happen in spring, but unfortunately, COVID-19 happened and we all had to hang out in our houses for a long time. It's a bummer we can't be on the field today, but it's great that we all still get to meet together in this platform. We have all of your questions submitted, so thank you for coming up with so many great questions. Jordan and Dion are going to be really excited to answer. And if you guys have any questions while we're interviewing the players, feel free to raise your hand and we can get to you. Before we get started with Jordan and Dion, I would like to have my friend David Femi start us off. And he's a banker with M&T Bank. He helped make today's call possible. So David, the floor is yours.
Hey, thank you so much. Dion and Jordan, thank you. Thank you. Go Bills. It's an incredible honor to be here on behalf of M&T Bank. You know, myself and my colleagues at the bank, we've been thinking about you guys, especially this last couple of months. And you know, everyone's sheltering in place, everyone is staying indoors because of all the craziness that's going on. So we wanted to take a moment to stop by and just check on you and see how you're doing and to say hello. It was sad to see the season end so early. And, you know, when I think about the possibilities and the potential that the season had and all that was in stock for each and every one of you, it was sad to see this season end. And I heard a lot of you have been practicing very hard. So here's my advice for you. Although the season ended early as a result of COVID-19, keep working hard. Keep working hard. And this is not the time to quit, right? There's something I usually tell people that I work with, that you can never quit. Why? Because in life, things would go wrong, right? And it's not the time to quit. When things go wrong, don't quit. And sometimes when the road you're going on seems so all uphill, don't quit. When you try to smile, but you have to sigh, don't quit. And sometimes life and the pressures of life might seem like it's pressing you down a bit. Get some rest if you must, but you must never quit. So that's my advice to you. Don't quit. Don't quit. All of your hard work, all of your grit, and all of your passion, you should know all of that stuff wasn't for nothing. So keep going, stay focused, and just know that there's greatness and then there's tremendous opportunities on the other side of everything we're going through and of life. So I want to challenge each and every one of you to keep grinding. This is the time to keep grinding. You cannot stop. And guess what? Keep dreaming. Because people that don't dream don't go anywhere. So if you want to go somewhere, you have to dream. And I'm sure Dion and Jordan can attest to that. Whatever you see yourself becoming 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, don't wait till next year to start dreaming about those things. Start now. Keep aspiring to become the best, because you are the best and you can only associate with anything that has to do with the best. But I want you guys to know that myself, my colleagues at the bank, we have come together now to team up with the Buffalo Bills to create the M&T Bank Flag Football. And the reason why we're doing that is just to inspire you, each and every one of you, to adopt healthy habits, make positive choices. Healthy not just for you, but for your loved ones, your neighbors, your families, your friends, your community. Make sure you're making healthy choices and make sure you're staying active. You know, as I wrap up here, while we won't be able to do the stuff we're doing in person this year, we will be giving each and every one of you a bag with some football essentials. And we're doing that just to encourage you, keep working hard, keep believing in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, the society would never believe in you. So you have to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you are great and you will make it. So keep believing in yourself. And like I said before, keep dreaming big.
Thank you, David.
David, thank you so much for those words. That was awesome. Before we get to the questions, our friends on this call, guys, raise your hand if you know what you want to be when you grow up, because I want to know about how David got into banking, because that's quite a cool job and role to be in. So if you know what you want to be when you grow up, raise your hand. I want to hear about what you want to be.
A football player.
A football player. It's a great thing to want to be. Who else? Raise your hand. Tell me what you want to be when you grow up.
Doctor.
A doctor? Heck yeah. Those are some really cool things to want to be, and I'm sure Dion and Jordan can talk to you guys about wanting to be a football player, because I know they've wanted to do that for a long time, and look at them right now living out their dreams. But David, being a banker, was this something you wanted to be when you were younger? Did you grow up and you're like, I want to be in the banking industry?
As a kid, I always wanted to help people and help people with their money. I always wanted to advise people and help them provide solutions that can help them attain their financial freedom. So always wanted to be a banker. Went to undergrad and I studied banking and finance, and went to grad school, got my MBA. My MBA is in finance and my concentration was banking. I'm currently working on my PhD. It's some part of it is banking and some is something else, but I've always wanted to be a banker, and I dreamed of it, and here I am.
Wow, that's really awesome. Thanks for sharing that, David.
Yeah.
Would you like to start us off with the first question that was submitted by Tatiana?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's and I love this question. So it says, what profession or job would you hope to have if you were not playing in the NFL?
That's a great question. I guess I'll start off. Guys, how you doing? I'm Jordan. I guess growing up, I always, like you, David, I always wanted to help people. And now that I'm older, I'm 29 now. I love going back to my community and working with young kids and seeing, every year I go back to Astoria, Oregon, where I grew up, and I see these kids, just growing up before my eyes almost, going from first grade, now some in sixth grade. I knew some in sixth grade and are now in almost graduating high school, and just to see them grow and to see how they mature throughout their experience back in Astoria is inspiring to me. And I always like going back to help them. So part of me when I'm done playing is, I want to be a mentor, I want to be a coach, I want to be someone who kids can look at, and I want to be able to help them in whatever aspect of life, whether that's sports, whether that's just life. And so that's always been my passion, like you, David, just wanting to help people, especially in the times that we're living right now. Just want to be able to communicate and share my word with other people, and that's just always inspired me.
I'm Dion Dawkins. I play left tackle for the Buffalo Bills, and I would say that if I wasn't playing ball, like my whole life, like I've always had like a care for others, and also like what Jordan said, just to help. But I've always felt the urge to protect people, and I've always thought that like the Secret Service and like the FBI and that field was always the coolest thing to me. So I think if I wasn't playing ball, I would have definitely shot for like being a Secret Service agent or like an FBI agent. And I studied criminal justice in college. So if football didn't work, I was right there on that path.
Wow, that's awesome. I think it goes to show, dream big. I mean, Jordan, Dion made it to the NFL. David is a banker at M&T Bank. You guys can do whatever you set your mind to, and that's so amazing to think about. All right, we have our second question. It is from Queens Whedon. Queens, are you on the call, and would you like to ask that to the football players if you're on the call?
My question was, who inspires you to be an NFL football player?
I would definitely say number one was my mother. I am the biggest mama's boy on the planet. I love my mom dearly, and she has inspired me to just be the best version of myself. But I would say like growing up, like I've always been a fan of Allen Iverson, like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and I was always bigger. So I was like, well, I can't be a NBA player, so and what's next? So I just took their mentality and brought it to the football field.
That's another great question. You can look two ways at it. I had a lot of family members that inspired me growing up. I lived in a household, everybody played sports. My brother was an athlete, he was younger than me, so I was always beating him up on the court, beating him up on the baseball field, football field, whatever you want to call it. Both my parents played, collegiate ball. My mom played volleyball, my dad played football. And so it was just always, my dad pushed me extremely hard growing up. He was hard on me, but it was what I needed in order for me to see, what was on the other side. And I grew up watching Michael Vick. I played quarterback in high school, and just seeing the way he, balled out on the field, that was what I wanted to do, man. I wanted to have that swagger out on the football field. And so everybody inspires me. People around me still inspire me. Guys I work with continue to inspire me. So but that's a great question, though.
Awesome answers. Guys, think about that. Jordan said he was a 7th-round pick, and now he's one of the best safeties in the NFL. That shows you what hard work can do.
In the NFL.
He is. Thank you for correcting me, Dion. He is.
Appreciate that.
Do any of you guys on this call have any questions right now that you want to ask? All right, go for it, Chris.
Is it better to be at every position instead of one good?
But go ahead, Jordan.
I would say yes. As a young athlete, the more you can do at a young age. How old are you right now?
10.
10. Play all the positions. Play quarterback, running back, tight end. Play them all. You know what I'm saying? And then you get comfortable at one. And you'll start to hone in as you get older. You start to come into your body, and you start to realize, you know what I'm saying, what your strengths and your weaknesses are. But for right now, I mean, you're an athlete. You can play all the positions. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, like Jordan hit it. Like you should definitely play every position, try to play every sport, try to do almost everything, because like it's the small things in the other sports. Like for myself, like I bowled, I wrestled, I played basketball. I played tennis. All of those different sports helped me to be the best version of myself on the football field. So just how I chose to take all of those skills from all those other sports, it's the same thing as you playing other positions to craft you for whatever position you choose to play in the future.
Anybody else have any more questions before we get to some more of the submitted ones? If you want to ask, go ahead and raise your hand.
Have y'all ever dreamed to be an NFL player when I was a little kid?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. Like, I would lie if I said every night, but I had visions of being, I call them skinny guys. So I'm a big guy, and then the rest of the guys are skinny guys. I've always had dreams of myself running into the end zone, touchdown dance, and all of this stuff. Like, that was my vision. And, I'm all.
You did last season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. But yeah, definitely dreamed about it, visualized it, and took the visual to reality.
Any other questions before we keep going?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was there ever a time that you doubted that you would be a pro football player? I mean, it's kind of looking as an adult looking back on it, it's kind of an outrageous dream because it's so hard.
When I got hurt in 2015, I ended up with a lacerated kidney. I was with Cleveland. That was a time in my life where I wondered if this was, if this was what I wanted to do, and if I was going to be able to make it out of that situation, And so there was a lot of doubts in myself. I went through a really bad phase. When I got hurt, I wasn't able to run, work out, do nothing, no exercise for 4.5, 5 months. I couldn't be with my teammates, and so I was really down. I didn't, understand why is this happening to me. I had been playing football my whole life, and I found something inside me to be able to come out of that. And so yeah, I doubted myself. But now I walk onto the field with no fear. I have I have no doubt in my mind when I walk out on the football field on Sundays that I'm going to be who I am, and I'm going to play like who I am, and I'm going to ball out. So I think when I look back, it's almost a blessing in disguise because a lot of good things came out of it. But yeah, in that point in my career, I definitely doubted a lot of things to that point.
I would say mine was I was in high school, and I also wasn't highly recruited. And my high school coach told me that I would never be a Division I athlete, that I was a Division III and a Division II superstar, but never a Division I athlete. And that, from him saying that in front of myself and my parents, because of the and recruiting, it crushed me. And I was like, wow, like I've dreamed about being a Division I player. I've dreamed about getting drafted, going pro, and being a Hall of Fame player. And I was like, well, it can't happen now because my own like high school coach doesn't even think it. So my mother did everything that she could possibly do. I didn't even know that it was a route at the time. And I had went off to prep school, which was a military and prep school in Chatham, Virginia, called Hargrave Military Academy. It was all boys. And I went there and I just gave it my last shot. And I went there and I was getting like off of one season, I was there for 6 months. So it was just one season. I was getting and recruited by Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Cincinnati, and Temple. And I chose Temple, and then like that was that. But if I would have let what my coach said, affect me, and if I didn't have the people around me to continue to motivate me, it would have been over. And I would have just been, just Dion Dawkins, just in another form, But definitely, yeah. There's definitely times for almost every athlete I can talk on. There's been times for almost every single athlete, whether it's injury, whether it's something that just somebody like might have said, and especially media, and we get hit with media after every game, before every game. If I make a mistake, if I have a penalty, if I do something wrong, it's just like boom, 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 boom. And if you're not strong enough, it'll break you.
Those are some great answers, guys. Thanks for those. We're going to ask a couple more of the submitted ones. So, David, do you want to ask the next submitted question?
So the next question says, who was your favorite NFL player or professional athlete growing up, and why?
Well, there's so many. There's so many, man. Well, I'm gonna say number one was Michael Vick. Michael Vick was a game changer. He was the attitude. He was the swagger. He was the guy. He was what every kid wanted to be like. Michael Vick is the Michael Jordan of football in my eyes. And if I can speak on somebody else, it was Michael Vick, LaDainian Thomason, Troy Polamalu, so many guys, man, so many guys. Just inspiring, just guys that honestly were always had everybody pulling them back. Like people said Troy Polamalu was too small. He went out there and did his thing. Michael Vick, he was too small. He was a left-handed quarterback, broke every record. You know what I'm saying? But like LT, showstopper. Lights out, he's running the ball all over every defense in the league. And he was doing that week after week after week. But those are my top three. Yeah.
Dion made a great point about Vic, so I ain't gotta say nothing else about that. I gotta put Vic. Deion Sanders is I always watch this film. I still watch this film, because he's prime. He was prime, and he just is what every DB has, he wants to have that swagger. So, and then obviously people aren't gonna like me for this, but I grew up watching Tom Brady too. Shit, he played in the 2000s, you know what I'm saying? And now unreal that I played him twice a year for the last 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And I've had 2 picks off of him and a pick 6. Just to be able to be in that category, knowing in my head, I dang near grew up watching him play. And I got drafted to Philadelphia, and who was the first person I see in the locker room? Michael Vick. Whoa, you know what I'm saying? In my head, I'm like, oh, what? You know, like, this is real? This is Michael Vick. You know what I'm saying? I play with you on the Falcons all the time in Madden. And I'm just running around with you. I ain't even throwing the ball. I'm just running around. So, you know, it was cool, you know, to be in those scenarios and to kind of be a younger kid in the league and seeing some of the older guys, you know, still in the league and kind of going away. Troy Polamalu, another one, you know, I watched him at USC just hitting everything smart up here, though, like just a smart individual. And so there's a lot. Dion said it. There's a lot of players that, you know, you can take this or that out of each guy. You know, that was a good question, though.
I love it. Who else has questions on here? Does anybody else have any more?
What do you guys do to mentally prepare for games? Like, I played baseball when I was in high school and college, and you know, there's this system you do. At least we did in baseball. I don't know if you did it in football.
You talk about to mentally and prepare. Like, I go over in my notes, and I watch film, which is all the basic stuff. But as far as like my personal life, I chill with the family. I like to play my video games. I just like to de-stress, as much de-stress as possible, to get as calm as possible, because, you know, football, it's the only like gladiator sport. So everything is high emotion. So I try to and prepare my mind and my body to calm down as much as possible. So when that does come, I have all that energy that I've been saving to attack and how I would say kill my opponent.
I think it's an ongoing process of preparing for a game. You know, everybody has their own way of preparing. You know, everybody has their own agenda. Everybody has their own way of taking care of their bodies, how they watch film. So I think you doing what works for you. You know, everybody knows what it feels like to go into a game not mentally prepared, not physically prepared. And so when you know what works for you and you keep that same routine and continue, I think that's what I've done. You know, I've been 8 years in the league. I found things that have worked for me. I found things that haven't worked for me, and I took them out. And you know, it's a continuing process. You know, the game's evolving, people are evolving, so you just got to continue to do what works for you.
Jordan, Dion, I want you guys to ask these kids some questions. It could be as simple as, who's your favorite athlete? What do you want to be when you grow up? Favorite sport other than football? Go ahead.
I want to know what you guys are doing during the COVID-19 to stay active every day. What are you guys' activities that you guys got going on? You guys got some new creativity like some new creative things going, some new games that maybe nobody knows about that I need to hear so I can maybe play some with my fam, you know, just in life.
For us to practice to be better, we be playing dodgeball to see with football and somebody trying to catch it before.
I like it. It's funny. We started doing activities in the house. I got my brother and my wife's sister living with me, and we started doing activities in the house every week to see who has to get up and take the dogs out in the morning. And so we started doing activities like we give them both a batch of cookies or make some cookies. Whoever made the best cookies gets to sleep in that week. And so we did stuff like that. We had the little egg. You had to hold the egg in the spoon, and you had to race it around the cone and race it back. It's pretty fun. So I don't know if you guys are doing stuff like that or if I'm the only weird one around here.
Another question, right? So for all of my big guys, I just want to know, is it drums or flats?
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
What's wrong? Flats. Flats. Extra crispy.
Yep. Extra crispy flats.
So, and the question to put the exclamation point on it, do not disappoint me.
Blue cheese or
ranch? Are we doing ranch or are we doing blue cheese?
You already know the answer to that.
Blue cheese.
Blue cheese. Blue cheese.
No ranch.
I don't know how y'all do it, man. I don't know how you do it.
Like the ranch.
Nah,
What?
ain't no ranch. No ranch on your wings.
Drifting,
Salads.
drifting it.
Chicken wings.
I'm
Blue
dumping
cheese.
the whole bottle on it.
Blue cheese,
That
definitely.
blue cheese, I ain't messing with that.
What's the favorite chicken wings? The special sauce.
Honey butter barbecue.
I'm a honey butter, and I'm a lemon pepper.
Yeah, one more question for Dion and Jordan before we sign off. Guys, you wouldn't be where you are today without being in school. So how important is it to focus on your education and to stay in school and to study to be able to make it where you guys are today?
Education is key, man. I mean, just especially in the world we live in, you know, just continuing to stay educated. You know, going to school and educate yourself, and it's super important as you grow through life. So I encourage all you guys to just continue to stay through school and keep educating. I'm sorry for all the noise in the background. But yeah.
Yeah, school is definitely the most important thing out of everything. Also, just a little insight on myself. I didn't like school until I figured out the right way that I liked to learn. You know, everybody learns differently. So if you find the right way that helps you learn the best, it'll make schooling so much more fun. You know, like you can relate schoolwork and questions to games or to sneakers or to sports. But I brought other aspects to help me learn. So I would say just jump into school, different ways, different tactics, different skills to make your schooling and everything just that much more easy. Because just as much as you guys like TikToking, should be the same feeling when it comes to learning. And you just have to find that special tool, and it'll help you and drive you extremely far.
David, what about you too? Why is school so important to you? Why did it get you to where you're at right now in banking?
You know, knowledge is power. If you want to be powerful, you need to acquire knowledge. And when you go to school, you're exposed to different values, to different norms, to different belief systems. You're exposed to all kinds of people, and you learn from each and every one of them. And that's how you acquire so much knowledge, and that's how you shape your future and your destiny. So school is important, and it's been a driver for me all through my career. So school is number one.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Well, this call was so much fun. I wish we could stay on here for like another 2 hours, but I know we all probably want to get outside and enjoy the good weather that we have this weekend. So before we go, everybody on the call, you got to unmute your mics, and we're going to do a big thank you and a Go Bills. So on the count of 3, we're all going to say Go Bills at the same time. You guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mics unmuted? Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Go
Go
Bills!
Bills!